Welcome all. This is the first Havoc Fishing Team podcast, and we come to you with the one and only. We are at the Ride the Bull event in Grand Isle, Louisiana, with the one and only Mr. Tyler Brown from Big Adventures. We are super excited to have him. Super excited to have everybody watching and partaking in this podcast. This podcast is going to be all about the adventure, all about fishing. We're going to talk about controversial topics, what might make people a little bit uncomfortable. So stay tuned along for the ride and the shenanigans. But without further ado, let's kick it over to Tyler. Tyler, can you give us a little intro about yourself?
Sure. First of all, thank you guys very much for having me. I'm really happy to be on the first one.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So excited about that. Well, my name is Tyler Brown. I'm with Big Adventures. I'm our COO, but I've been at Big Adventures, technically the same organization for about 11 years. And really excited about things that are happening now in our industry, and excited about things we're doing. So, and excited to be here at Ride the Bull, my first Ride the Bull event. So
it's going to be a fun event.
Yeah.
Mr. Hatchson, you got anything you want to open up with?
Honestly, obviously it's great having you on here. It's also my first Ride the Bull event as well, so little cherries being popped, I guess you could say, little action going on. But first thing I kind of want to ask is, how did you get into Big Adventure and get to being in that position of the COO?
Great question. Well, first off, I grew up paddling.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go up to North Georgia and paddle when I was growing up, and fell in love with it really. And went to school. And when I finished up school, I actually had reached out to. I was into whitewater paddling at the time.
Awesome.
I grew up fishing too. So, but I was into whitewater, and I was a big fan of Liquid Logic brand.
Mm-hmm.
One of our brands at Big Adventures, and I had reached out to see if I could get any type of job, and never heard back. So I went on the job market. I ended up working at Auto Trader for a while, and then I was ready to get out of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happened that I had met my wife, my now wife, in the Asheville area, and Liquid Logic used to be manufacturing in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Okay.
But they were moving their whole facility, which included Native, to Asheville. And so I ended up reaching back out, and I got a job as a kayak molder.
Nice.
And I got myself in the door,
Yeah.
and rest is kind of history. Just
Yes.
worked my way up through different jobs. I was a supervisor, from production supervisor, then into systems, finance, marketing, and it's just been fun.
You just did all the work you needed to do.
Yeah.
So how long did that take you?
Well, I'm at year 11 now,
Okay.
so it's been a while.
Yeah.
But it was it's really cool to have gone through all of those steps to get to where I am now. Learned a whole lot about the industry and just about the process to make a kayak and everything that goes into it. So
Yeah, I think the fact that you started off as a kayak molder, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty cool. I've had the chance to go to the Jackson factory and see how they're all made, and just seeing all the work that goes into it. There's a lot of attention to detail.
Yeah.
A lot of making sure you didn't screw anything up.
And it's really easy to screw it up.
Yeah.
Really easy, unfortunately, but it is. And, But learning that process and making sure, it's kind of cool. We're still made in the States, and we're it's been fun to stay doing that. So
yeah, that's awesome.
It's really cool to know that you kind of started at the ground level and worked your way up in the business. I mean, that's really kind of a strong statement about yourself.
Yeah.
The industry from the beginning to the end,
Sure.
all the ins and outs.
Mm-hmm.
And as, growing in the industry, I'm sure you've had your opportunity to fish a ton of fisheries across the nation. I mean, can you tell us what your favorite fishery has been so far?
Oh, man. My favorite fishery, it's probably Panama, off the coast of Panama.
So how about U.S. fishing?
Yeah.
Okay, U.S. I'll go
Let's
back to
do
U.S. In the U.S., I am a huge fan of Charleston. I have fished Charleston quite a bit. I really just love fishing in general. It doesn't really matter where it's at, but there really is. I know we're at Ride the Bull, but there really is nothing quite like catching redfish off a kayak and sight fishing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing, and you can do that in Charleston. So, and that's where I've just fished a good bit. So I think that's my number one U.S. fishery.
So what is? Let's talk about ditch pickles for a minute. That's bass for y'all that don't know.
Oh yeah.
But what is your PD ditch pickle?
Well, I didn't. I was able to measure it, but I didn't get to weigh it. It was 24 inches. I think it was about 8, but I don't know for sure. But that was my biggest. I caught it in North Carolina.
So about a 20. You measured it was a 24.
Mm-hmm. And you guys should see the video. I can go to my Instagram. You can see it.
We'll go.
It's a
Instagram link here.
yes, big old bucket.
Yeah,
big old
No,
bucket.
that's
He was
awesome.
kind of skinny fish though, but that was my personal best largemouth.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So, I know you fly fish.
Yeah.
Do you prefer to fly fish over your standard bait caster?
You know,
why not?
I think I'm more conventional.
Mhm.
I mean, I do like fly fish. I like the meticulousness, I guess is that a word. Like I just like the thought that goes into fly fishing a lot.
It's an art.
It's an art. It's an art, and so I do really like that. But I don't know. I just enjoy conventional probably more so.
Nice.
So in fly fishing, conventional, and all
Mhm.
the fisheries in the nation,
Mm-hmm.
do you prefer lakes, rivers,
Well,
the salt?
they're all good in their own way. I know it's kind of a general answer, but I don't know. I kind of go through each, but salt because of reds.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not because we're here. I just really like catching redfish.
There's no other. I mean,
Ah,
if you haven't ever caught a redfish, there's no other experience like it. I mean, especially if you get into a bull, and once they realize that they're hooked, and then they really start to fight,
Mm-hmm.
that's
yeah,
I mean, just
it's
hold
special.
on. And if you ever get the opportunity to do it on a fly, it'll change your life.
Maybe tomorrow.
Well, we're gonna get
Tomorrow.
we'll get you on them.
I'm
Maybe
going to
tomorrow.
fly tomorrow for a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll
Stay
see.
tuned on the Havoc Fishing YouTube to see all that content for tomorrow. So you're all about the salt. You're all about
Mhm.
fresh kind, all the thing. But redfish is it. That's your
I can't. I do love catching bass too.
Mhm.
Smallmouth, largemouth, they're all fun. But I just have a special place in my heart for redfish.
Didn't you
From a
just-
kayak specifically.
Yeah.
Didn't you just catch like a really, really big smallie up in
I
we
did.
all did. I
Yeah.
remember the guide saying they averaged like 17 to 18.
Yeah, we were on the St. Croix River and on the Minnesota-Wisconsin line border, and it was awesome. We went up with the Rapala team, and just it was actually Matt Jensen, who's the VP of marketing at Rapala, took us to his home waters, and it was just awesome. But yeah, I caught probably a dozen smallmouth that day, but it was all top water too, which made it even better.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I caught a 21-inch smallie, river smallie. It was awesome. It was a beast.
terrain.
It
Yeah.
took forever to fight it.
No,
Really?
You're on RVR.
I was on
last year,
RVR.
right?
Yep, it worked out great with that boat because literally every fish I would hook in current and just drop anchor and just fight it there, and it worked out really good. I'm ready to go back.
We'll see how you do on the RVR tomorrow.
I'm ready.
Salt.
I'm ready.
Salt, yeah.
It's the first time in the salt with the RVR for me, so
Oh.
I'm really excited about that.
Now, yeah, I'm surrounded by you big adventure weirdos. But I'd like to say, I can proudly say, I was the first person to catch a red in a Coosa X
Nice.
day before it was released.
Nice.
Just like to say that, and it was actually really nice in the salt. It was fun.
Yeah.
Just
All those
spinning
best
around
they
and
can
whatnot.
get in shallow draft are just so much fun out there.
Oh, hooking up into a bowl on one of those things, just
Mhm.
spinning in a freaking circle. It's like, ah! That was a good time. It's a good time. So you talked about Panama. You
Mhm.
fish Panama.
Mhm.
Now,
Not
is
in the
there- Okay, but is there somewhere other than Panama that you like dream about fishing? Because
There's,
fishing on the U.S. I've never
Sure.
left the country.
I mean, we're talking like bucket list dream
Yeah.
trip.
Yeah.
I would really want to go to Australia. I really want to go fish Australia. There's a place called Lizard Island that I really want to go to.
Yeah.
Black Marlin,
Oh,
Trevally. It's on my bucket list.
GTA?
It's on my bucket list. Yeah, but might be a while. But that's my bucket list location.
Do you want to do that out of kayak?
Would love to.
dude.
If they can get a big
Catch
adventure
GT,
kayak there.
catch yourself out. Oh man.
Maybe one day we'll have big adventure kayaks over there.
Yeah.
Shoot.
I've got a good buddy of mine, Chris Castro.
Mhm.
Next Level Fishing
Mhm.
TV. That dude, he'll go out offshore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and he will get into some gnarly fish in the kayak. Go check his YouTube channel out.
Mm-hmm.
But heck of an angler, heck of a saltwater angler. But I mean, it just goes to show
Mhm.
the kayak doesn't necessarily limit you. You just got to know how to
Absolutely,
handle
yeah.
yourself in the kayak.
Whole different experience for sure than
Yes.
from a boat.
I feel that, in a boat, I'm in a boat a lot myself, but in a kayak, you really get to experience the power of that fish and
100%.
and respect it that much more when you land it on the boat.
The fight is right there.
Yeah. There's
That's one of the best parts of kayak fishing.
Yeah.
I remember the fish.
I was watching a video of Jameson Redding. He was hooked up into a huge tarpon and fought. I think he was fighting for about an hour or two, I think.
Yeah.
And he's just fighting the hell out of that thing. I think he might have been in Panama. I don't know where he was. It was somewhere. Costa Rica maybe. But then this big freaking ray just jumps out of the water and lands on his line. And his line just starts screaming. I'll see if I can get the I'll put it in this, but it was freaking screaming, and then it broke off. And oh my god, I thought he was about to throw everything out of
Brutal for a ray.
Oh my god, yeah.
No fun.
But there's nothing like really being in the kayak and catching just huge fish.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
oh yeah.
Like I was watching this video of this guy who caught a bluefin, and he got it up, and then he gapped it, and then that tail just starts speeding, and he's just running
So
backwards
bad.
in the boat. He's like, I don't know what to do. No, that was man. That'd be fun. Catching like a 500-pound bluefin.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
You know where they have those? Out of Banks.
it's not that far.
Your backyard.
Not that far.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
And Native makes a great, boat to do all that out of, and that's a good segue into our next topic. The tight necks. I saw it at ICAST. I talked with Greg Blanchard about it at ICAST. It looks like a phenomenal boat, and or kayaks. I know some people are going to absolutely go crazy about that. But I know one of the trending things that people bring up a lot about Native is the accumulation of water on the floorboard or the deck of the kayak. Is the tight neck supposed to solve that problem, or?
Yeah, so Shane, our designer, really took that into account when designing it and did a couple things to it. So one of the main things is we raised the deck compared to the old Titans, and kind of what we did with the second iteration of the Slayer Max 12, and that really helped out the Slayer Max. And then we also increased the volume of the boat below the waterline. So there's more volume in the bow and stern below the waterline to help increase the capacity. So it is better than the previous models for sure. And then we've also taken a lot of care to keep water out of the hull. So a lot of those deck features, if you look at it, first of all, I recommend just going to check it out and get it on the water for yourself once we get it out there. But basically just a lot of drainage points to shed water, and a lot of stuff raised up, like gasketed and stuff. So we've taken a lot of care into making that hull dry.
And I saw it at ICAST, and looking at it, when we talked about it at ICAST, you could really tell how much thought and heart went into designing that kayak.
Totally, Shane and a lot of our pro team spent a lot of time really dialing that in. So it's been fun. It's nice to see it finally in real life, because we always look at it on screen, CAD, all that stuff, and you finally see it. We actually had that boat made 2 days before ICAST.
Really?
Before coming down, and so it was exciting to see it, and excited to start getting it out there. So it'll start shipping, I think, in about mid-September.
I think Greg was saying when I was chatting with him at ICAST that y'all were actually rigging it out.
We rigged it in the driveway at the Airbnb. Ramel, the wizard,
I saw that whole video.
He is amazing, and he helped us out, and we got it all done. And I think, it's probably 8 to 10 hours of rigging out there, but it was pretty done up. There was a lot of stuff on there. For sure.
That's the guy to do it.
Yeah, he's amazing.
We're gonna get Ramel on here.
Good.
I was on the phone with him on our drive.
Nice.
Yeah,
Ramel's
like, hey,
awesome.
man, like, we want you on here.
Yeah.
And obviously when I was living in California, me and him, like we
Uh-huh.
know each other decently.
Yeah.
And I'm like, get on here. You are the guy.
Yes.
The wizard that needs to be on here.
Totally. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. So speaking of the wizard and improving things.
Yeah.
This tight necks.
Yes.
Obviously, I'm not a native guy.
Sure.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But problems that were in the old Titans and whatever other boats, what is being solved?
Yeah.
With tight necks?
So what we've really tried to do is make adding electronics and motors as easy as possible for the consumer. So, we're calling these power links. Basically, they're plastic pieces. They're probably 5 or 6 inches long, I think we have 4 of them on the 12.5. So you're drilling into that versus the boat, and it's put in convenient locations. But also the battery hatch right behind the peddler gives you a ton of access to the hull. So being able to wire it with a big opening right there, making it just as easy as possible for that. It's really one of our main goals that we're trying to solve.
Yeah, no, that's good because I know, I mean, across the board with almost any company there is, it's always a trick to find, you know, how can I rig this without screwing it up so much.
Exactly.
And making it a lot easier. I briefly saw it when we were at ICAST, but you had the 2 power poles and then a Newport on the back.
There was a lot going on with that boat. We wanted to show like everything you could do with it. I'm not expecting people to do every single thing that was on there all the time, but some people will. But it just goes to show like what it's capable of.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get some people that just, you know, obviously these mount companies that go, okay, I need to make a mount for this boat, this boat, this boat. I mean, with the Titan X, from what I've seen, kind of eliminates a lot of that. So you can buy the boat,
totally,
and then buy whatever accessory was thrown on.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Well, actually, we've partnered with Motor Guide as well, and so basically, you'll be able to put I think you probably saw it at the show, but the quick release plate goes right on the boat. You don't have to have a mount on top of that. And so we're for the 12.5. So
that's awesome.
That's a great add-on.
Yeah.
But when I looked at that boat at ICAST, I was saying to myself, like, I don't think they could put anything else.
There was a lot on there.
I don't know if it could fit.
I know. I'm surprised we got Greg in there. We got Greg in there too. So
I mean, I'm not gonna be a little stereotypical, but he's a small Asian dude.
He's a smaller guy, but he loved it. So Greg likes it. That's good for me.
Yeah.
So
Greg's a stout boy. I mean, I would not. You know, that dude could probably throw that kayak if he wanted to.
You wouldn't think it.
No.
But then when you look at it, you're like, maybe he could.
Man, that big old boy.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna be seeing him soon.
Oh yeah.
We'll be seeing him soon.
Yeah.
So,
of course.
Of all the things that y'all done, all the great things y'all done with the Titan X, what's your favorite feature that y'all added onto it, or that y'all put into this?
Sure. I mean, obviously the ease of adding electronics is my favorite piece of it, but I really do like the swivel seat. You know, being able to access the back really easily, the stern of the boat, but also just being able to fish off the side really easily. Like I just put my feet up on the rail. I've been in it a little bit. I haven't got to spend a ton of time in it yet, but just being able to scoot that seat over and just fish off the side. You can keep your boat perpendicular to the bank and just fish it. I really like that feature.
That is a nice feature, especially in these beautiful, sweltering hot days we've had. You know, just kick over,
toasty.
You know, just drop your feet in the water and soak cool off that much more. I mean, shoot, at this point, sometimes with the ice won't fall in the water. But some of these lakes, it's not.
That's not much cooler.
Yeah, it's like, might as well bring the Old Spice with you and take a bath while you're in the lake.
It's brutal. It's brutal out there.
Yeah, we were out at, was it Somerville?
Mm-hmm.
We were out at Somerville, and I parked the boat, and they were behind me somewhere, and I'm just sitting there, and it's 100-something degrees at 6 o'clock, and I am dying. So I got out, I freaking took everything off, I took a rod out with me and started walking out into the lake.
Just to cool off.
We won't wait.
Yeah, when we were wade fishing.
Yeah,
that was, it was
a
good.
genius idea.
Yeah, when I looked at the forecast to come here, the low was 85.
Yeah. Our other camera guy, David Melton, he does a lot of great camera work with us. Me and Halfson, we're sitting on the shore and we're both looking at each other. Let's just go wade fishing. So David had found some little pond that he trudged off to, and he comes back to find us both chest high in water fishing. He's like, "What are y'all doing?" I'm like, "Man, it's hot."
Cool, man.
That's the only way to do it right now.
Oh yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah, I mean, what was it, the little bait fish were just starting to
Oh,
attack.
the bait fish were attacking. They were just hitting us all.
There was a couple times, I won't lie, I did scream like a little pansy. Because I just didn't know what it was.
A little nibble?
Yeah, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I like that.
Little nibble, not a nibble.
No, not at all.
Oh, man.
So, Big Adventures as a whole, I mean, with Native and Bonafide, I mean, y'all make an awesome line of
Appreciate
kayaks.
that. Appreciate that.
What, excluding the Titan X,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna make it a little bit harder for you, and the RVR,
Okay.
what is your favorite watercraft that y'all make?
A Jackson kayak.
It's not a joke. It's probably the Slayer Max 10.
Really?
Yep. I've fished quite a bit out of that boat, and what I like about it is it's easy. Like that boat, just to toss it in the truck bed, but also just I can take it on a river, I can take it on a lake. I don't know, it's just versatile and it's simple and grab and go style. But that's probably my number one.
That's
RVR was going to be my second outside the tight necks because I hadn't spent a lot of time in tight necks, but just for river situations primarily. But
that's solid choice.
maybe salt after tomorrow though. We'll see.
Hey, never know.
Never know.
Never know.
Never know. So there's this other thing that Big Adventure Tournament, more like natives do,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the tournament series.
Yeah.
How did that get started?
That is a good question. So I think it was 2 ICASTs ago. So we had some of our team members helping us at the booth, and we all went out to dinner. And I don't know if exactly it was his idea, but Chris Cantwell, who runs the Michigan Trail up there, he was like, "I got this great idea," and I'm not sure if he came up with another teammate, but he's kind of the guy that thought of it, and I was like, "That's a really good idea." And really, what we've been trying to do is just make it fun, and it was a way for like anglers that are either just starting out or actually really good anglers could still win money and have a good time out there. And that's what I love most about that series is like any angler can get lucky in 1 hour and actually win some money, and I just really like the concept, and it's fun. And we expanded it this year. We had 5 events last year and got it to 7 now, and we've been seeing some really great participation numbers. And one of my favorite parts is I'll get texts afterwards like, "Hey, that was a ton of fun." I'm really excited to see people just enjoying it a lot. So
Yeah, I mean that's a good thing because some of these tournament trails, there's a lot of drama that happens.
Yeah.
And I was fishing a lot of the Bassmaster and some of the Hobie events this year,
sure.
and then things happened. I just kind of stopped doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But what I noticed was there was just a lot of angler drama,
Sure.
especially with some of these on the water rules that frankly are just dumb,
Sure.
and whatnot. But
Yeah.
but also seeing the fact that this the Native Tournament Series, I think is everyone's having fun, and that's the good part about it is people are, the camaraderie's there.
Yeah, we're really
teaching
trying to
each
keep
other,
it drama free.
Yeah.
Because you go to any, you're always gonna have drama no matter what.
Yeah,
mean, it's unavoidable. But one thing that I've been a firm believer in, and last year I fished the Bassmaster Series, did really well. We batted the Classic.
Yeah.
And not my best performance, but that was like the most miserable I have ever been in my life. But anyways, people always say if you're not in the money, get off the water. But I'm a firm believer. Everybody's in the money till this lines out because big fish can be caught.
That's right.
At the last minute of the tournament.
Absolutely.
And that's what's really cool about the native. It's all about just landing that one fish.
Sure.
And anybody can do it at any time.
Exactly. I'm just what I love most about it, honestly. Like I had the Saginaw Bay event was recently, and I think it was like 20 people could have won money at the maximum. Like everybody different won an hour, and there was different people in the top 10. We paid out 19 different people. Pretty amazing. Wow. A lot of these tournaments you're paying out 5-10 people maybe. So that's really fun. Really fun to be able to pay out that many people. And really, we're not. We're just trying to put all the money that we're making back in. We got our brand sponsors for every hour now, and that's all going to the anglers. So it's pretty fun.
No, I mean, like I said, a lot of these tournament trails, like you said, they just pay out 5% and 10% of the field, and and also you said people are saying that if you're not in the money on day one, don't even bother.
Sure.
And not only you can get big fish, but also realize get your experience.
Yep.
You may be new to this whole thing.
Yeah. Totally.
You may be this may be your first tournament series that you're fishing, and you really are trying to figure it all out.
Yep.
Yeah, you did crappy day one, but go out day 2 and get yourself back into that tournament mindset so you can get used to it, the repetition, figure out what the fish are doing, and stuff like that.
Yep.
But on your locations, so you said you had 5 last year, 7 this year, 2024.
Ooh.
How many are you guys trying to have?
Great question. We haven't talked about it as a team yet. There's 5 of our native team guys that help put this series together. And we meet maybe once a quarter or so and just connect. And they're meeting all the time. And they've got some really good camaraderie going between them. but we haven't talked about it for 2024. My expectations will probably keep it at 7,
Okay.
but I want to talk to the guys and see what they're feeling too, because right now I feel like the 7 number is a pretty good number. You know, we're kind of seeing how this year goes, but I'm been really pleased so far, and like the participation numbers, and goes to show people are enjoying it. So
And there's one coming up on 4th pretty soon.
yeah, Lake Fork, and we got one out in the Northwest as well.
Oh,
Columbia River.
Columbia.
Yeah.
Brandon was about to whoop some ass. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, Lake Fork was a late ad for us, and they've been really supportive out there, and
That's a great community.
oh yeah, and really excited to have that event. Excited about Gunnersville this weekend. You know, see, this is year 1 with it. It's a little hot out there this year, but we'll see how it goes. And it's cool to have Jordan Lee fishing, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, no, that's you know what? Since you said Jordan Lee,
Yeah.
and we're on the tournament series
Mhm.
topic, what is your opinion on these pros, like MLF, Bassmaster pros, coming into the kayak series?
I like it. One, I think they get a better appreciation for what it is to be a kayak angler. I've talked to Jordan about that a little bit too, and I think they're impressed with, like, when they get there, like what kayak anglers are able to do. And so I think it's really cool that they're willing to experience it and come in and do it, and give kayak anglers a chance to compete against the best of the best. Right? It's really fun.
And I think as a kayak angler, you know, when you have a boat, you've either got a 250 or a 300 on the back of your boat, and if you can't catch any fish in that area,
Mm-hmm. You're moving.
boom, you take off.
Sure.
As a kayak angler, you have to make the best of that section of the lake that you're fishing in. Now, yeah, you can pick up and move,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, you're talking
Time.
rods,
Sure.
loading up, going to the new section, setting the kayak back up. Whereas it's almost just more beneficial to really start over, break down the water again, and figure it out. It makes you really hone in on your skills
Absolutely.
of water diagnosis.
Yep.
I
Agreed.
feel like if you took kayak anglers, threw them in a bass boat, to the bass boat guys, threw them in a kayak, and you try to see who did better.
Mhm.
I have a feeling that the kayakers that are being put in bass boats will do better because they can break down water easier.
Sure.
Or not, I wouldn't say easier, but they break down water more
Mm-hmm.
than I feel like the bass boaters will.
Yes,
Except for a handful of some that have been
Mhm.
doing this for years and they just know exactly what they're doing,
Right.
kind of thing. But I feel like if you did that swap, those kayakers will break that water down. Probably stay in that same area for as long as
Sure.
They probably wouldn't even put the motor. Probably use a trolling
They
motor.
probably just put trolling motor and just do this kayak speed all around. Yeah,
How do I start this thing up?
Fish it slow.
Is this a key? It's a hot foot. I'm not
Yeah, do that.
Oh yeah.
So another good thing that, you know, there's a lot of, you know, I'm glad to see the sport growing with, you know, new anglers coming in, you know, these tournaments like y'all are putting on. You know, what does Big Adventures look for in new and upcoming anglers? I mean, like,
It's a good question. I mean, for us, we are really looking for like authentic anglers, like people that are really out there working hard and putting in the time and are talented. You know, like even the people that aren't as talented per se, but have the passion for it, you know, is a big deal. So like our thing is just finding people that are just passionate and authentic, you know. So good anglers that they're trying. So.
So are you looking towards more, I guess, kind of more on a business side? Are you looking more on like a content base,
Sure.
or more of a tournament standing base?
For us, we look at it both ways, really. You know, depending on the angler, like we love obviously content production. I mean, content's great, you know. But we also look for if there's guys and gals out there performing in the tournament space, like they can be just as influential. So, but for us though, it's all about authenticity.
Yeah.
You know, but content production's very helpful.
No, it's good. A lot, some companies don't do that anymore.
Sure.
They just look at
Mhm.
who's the biggest name,
Mm-hmm.
like that's who we want, kind of thing, and
Sure.
just blow some other people off.
Yep.
You know, but you know, people that are just started, they need to go somehow. They need
Absolutely.
to figure it out somehow.
Yeah. a lot of companies get caught up on the stats.
Sure.
I mean, and there's a lot of big names out there that, I mean, you know, let's just take Christine Fisher, for
Mhm.
example. I mean, she'll have tournaments where she does absolutely phenomenal. I mean, she's, you know, she's an awesome angler.
Yep.
And, she'll have tournaments where she doesn't do so hot.
Sure.
But it's good to know that, there's companies like y'all that are not just necessarily honed in on, you finish first.
Right.
But you look at the quality of the person, the quality of the content that's coming out.
And a lot of those anglers too, they're out in the community, and we want them to be representatives of our values. So it's really important for us that's a big piece of the puzzle for sure.
Yeah. Well, that brings me to a pretty controversial.
Uh-oh.
Has the meaning of the word pro staff lost its value in the industry? Because there's a lot of companies now that just want to add as many pro staff members as they can, almost like a bunch of wee tungstens running around. No offense to tungsten, but
sounded like there was some offense to wee tungsten.
well, I don't think
Definitely some offense
they make good stuff.
Sure.
But when I was first coming up in the industry and watching, like, your goal was to beat pro staff with somebody like Native or Bonafide or whatever. And now it's, some of these companies are just kind of like tossing out pro staff positions.
Sure. I mean, I think if it's diluted, maybe it's the right word for it. I'm not sure, but it's the brand's fault, right? If they're bringing in just everybody and anybody, I think it's the responsibility of the brands to really focus in on what's important to them. Maybe some of them it's just quantity of people, but I think it's really important that, that there is some thought given to who's coming onto the team. And I think the brands that do that will be more successful.
Yeah. Well, yourself as a COO, and I'm sure you have a lot to do with the marketing that y'all do. Do you see that as a wise marketing strategy to have a bunch of pro staff members versus an elite group of anglers?
Sure. It's a good question. I think some brands have been pretty successful in adding a bunch of people to it. And, obviously there's just more of your brand out there, I guess you could say. But I think at some points that can kind of backfire a little bit if you're not really paying attention to who you're bringing onto your team and how they're representing your brand. So for us, I would say we definitely go for more of the quality side than quantity side, and see that as an important piece of our marketing strategies. So
yeah, I feel like that's good too. Having the quality over quantity, because of the fact that some of these companies will just be overstaffed with these bro staff people, less than pro or more than pro staff, and it just kind of, like you said earlier, just dilutes it. It just kind of screws it over, and there's not too much being paid attention to. Some companies will have people on there that just get discounts or free crap.
Yeah,
they don't produce anything for the company at all. They're just there, and having the quality of people who actually make the content for the company, make all these other things where it shows up to trade shows, and does the work. I feel like that's definitely what more of these companies should start doing, rather than just having a bunch of people on there.
And I also think it's important too, because if you obviously we're kayak companies, most of us out here that are kayak companies, but we don't have huge budgets like car companies do or whatever, so it allows us to really focus in on those people versus spreading it out so much and try to help support them too, because I always have thought of it as a two-way street. We're trying to help our pro team grow and what their personal goals are too. It's not just representing the brand.
Yeah, Emily Jackson told me this when I first started this with my dad. You're not in this industry to make money.
Yeah.
You're in this industry for the community.
Sure.
And frankly, I've made a lot more, connections and friendships along the way of this road that I walked down, instead of going for the money side of it. Because frankly, money's very cool, whatever, pays the bills. But, living the life with camaraderie in the community, and people around you, I feel like that kind of means more.
I agree.
Yeah, the community, that's a huge thing. And I'll bring up my good buddy Brandon Mays, aka that Bass Fishing dude. I've known Brandon for years now, and when I was first coming up in the industry, I would get really excited about the opportunity. But we'll go back to the pro staff stuff for a minute. Excited. Hey man, this company wants to bring me on for a 20% discount. I'm all pumped. I call Brandon, and Brandon does, bro, that's straight trash. just tell them to screw off and just go somewhere else. And I'm like all you hear is my boat just got popped. I'm like, oh my god! And he was the one that just instilled into me, and all you new upcoming anglers, keep this in mind. You're worth something.
Sure.
So you need to make sure if you're in a brand partnership that the brand that you're working with values you as much as you value them, because a 30% discount. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
They're still making money on it.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, let's
Sure.
use our noggin a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
But-
No, I totally agree. I mean, that's what's cool about this community too. Fishing's a passion sport. Everybody in this community obviously loves fishing.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's definitely a nice piece that binds the community together. And I feel like the kayak fishing community as a whole is just it's just one of the best out there for sure.
Absolutely. Do you have anything else to add? Just off the top of my head, I mean, we kind of hit everything we want to talk about.
Well, good.
I mean, I think it was a great first show. I mean,
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me here.
first
Yeah.
guest, and I mean, we're definitely gonna do a part 2. Everybody stay
Yeah.
tuned for part 2
Yep.
with Tyler Brown.
Yeah, we're gonna go fishing, right? Oh no, wait, we're going to the factory.
We're gonna go fishing tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
and there will be more bantering and shit talking tomorrow.
Mhm.
Stay tuned for that. But then coming up soon, we're gonna be going to the Big Adventures factory in Asheville, North Carolina, to do another show there with the one and only Mr. Tyler.
All right, looking forward to it.
Mhm.
Looking
Yeah,
forward to
show you guys how the kayaks are made.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mike Rowe,
I'll
That's
make
right.
sure not to be seen. I'll wear a bag around my head. Just drag me into
Yeah,
the
you
hospital.
gotta wear a different shirt. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
I'm just
talk
kidding.
about some photos you can hold blackmail.
Shit. No.
And then we put him in a
Yeah.
native.
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Gotta do it to enter the building. I'm just kidding.
We might have to
I'm joking.
hog time and throw it to
Yeah.
the native. But
Oh no.
All good.
man, we really appreciate you coming
Yeah,
on the
thank
show.
you guys very
We're
much.
honored to have you on.
Really happy to be here. Thank
All
you.
right.
Good deal. Awesome.
Awesome.
See you guys in the next one. Check out the video after this with him and us bantering on the water, catching some reds and some specks, hopefully. And see you guys in the next one.
Y'all stay tuned.
Yeah.